We had the whole fans' reaction at the end. Micky, what's your reaction at the end of the game?
Well, I can understand that, but it was always going to be difficult when you get away a goal so quickly. You don't really get any kind of measure of what the game was going to be. So it was a poor goal at any level to get away so quickly. Listen, we're sorry for the performance. We've got to say that we were poor today. That puts you in the back foot. I get that, but we didn't really recover. We tried a few different things to try and get us going. Nothing really worked because we had probably so many of us off what we've been today. Tried to get it rallied. You're still in the game at 1-0, but then we gave away an unbelievable penalty that makes it even more difficult then. But we weren't good enough all afternoon to try and get that goal back. When we got into the good areas where a Rover hit it or made poor decisions, or we didn't get it in there enough, get it into the dangerous areas that we're good at. So too many today we're not at it, doing the jobs that they need to do in order for us to be a decent team all afternoon, and the game just sort of trickled away from us, but we never looked like scoring pretty much most of the afternoon. But it was a poor performance from us. All we can do is we had the chat there at the end of the game, and then we go again next week. We've got a game coming quickly again on Tuesday night, so all we can do is respond and try and be more of what we are again, and get back to what we are on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I mean the first change you had to make was obviously brought Kieran Morris, from the right hand side to the left hand side to play with Ethan Bristow down this side,
yeah.
Hawks in the gap. But you were responding to what they were good at that stage, weren't you?
Yeah, we weren't really getting our full backs forward. We were getting a wee bit pinned in, so we wanted to try and get them out and get them higher, and we did. We got them higher, but when we got into the areas, we didn't do enough. We didn't do enough all day. Lost too many battles, too many headers and too many knockdowns, which again, if you're not winning them, you're not going to get any momentum. Only way we really looked like scoring maybe sometimes was from corners and things like that, but it just wasn't us today. It was just, we were sorry for the performance. We just didn't get going. We tried different things to try and move it on, but nothing really good as that spark, because there were so many of us today that just wasn't at it.
Change at half time, very often Nolan on, but never really had any control in that midfield.
No, never won enough ball, if you like, or got on the ball maybe enough to again get ourselves higher up the pitch, but we weren't doing it in the first half either. So we needed to try and make a change and see if, like we spoke about last week, if we could try and find something from the bench or a different area, or a wee bit of tweaking the shape to try and get us going. But when there's so many not at it, and you give away a cheap goal like the first one and a crazy penalty like the second one, it's going to be very, very difficult for you, on top of all the other things that we weren't good at today. So it was a poor performance.
Yeah, as you say, they were much better at just about everything today, and that's why they've won the game. In terms of learning from that, I mean, do you learn things as well as your players?
All the time. You've got to. You learn about the game, but you also learn about your players. So you have to go in next week and work with them again. As I said, they are a young group and an experienced group. So one of the things that we were telling them is you've got to start. I mean, it may sound very basic and very simple, but you can't keep going to go down and give away cheap goals like that. It makes it very difficult for yourself when you're playing a different game then, because you're playing on the back foot and you'll go down. But then you've got to recover and you've got to show character and stick to what we're good at and be good at what we're good at. But we just weren't able to do that today. Too many cheap passes gave away as well, too slow in the ball, not good enough receiving the ball, and it did become a battle in there in the back three. Considering we've got two strikers that are over 6 foot, we didn't compete enough and didn't win enough headers or combine enough or pin front centre backs enough to get it into feet to cause them enough problems.
And 3 games where you've gone behind in games as well now, and that's what wasn't happening prior to that.
Yeah, if you lose the first goal, it's always going to be difficult because the game suddenly changes and it's a different ask, isn't it? We've done that in the last 3 games, which has made it difficult. So twice we've come back and not been able to go and get the victory. But today, losing the second goal so cheaply in the way that we did, and apparently makes it very difficult for yourself.
Final message for the fans there, obviously. I mean, the big game coming up on Tuesday now. Stockport will bring lots of fans with them as well, but you could understand how the fans felt at the end of this one, but important for a clean slate and start again on Tuesday?
Well, just keep going. I mean, that's a difficult question to ask me, Derek. I mean, all I can do is keep trying to move the group along. If we get away cheap goals like the one that we did early and then get away a penalty, it makes it very difficult for me as a manager to say, well, I want a clean sheet or whatever, or a clean slate and all that kind of stuff. I'm frustrated as well. I'm sorry that the performance wasn't up to the levels that we have been shown recently. All I can do is go back on a Monday and try and get us back on track again. I'll stick with the players. They are a learning group, and we'll keep going. And as I said, there'll be ups and downs. But today we were miles off it, but made it very difficult for ourselves by decisions we made and the goals that we gave away. It was a sore one.
A few tired legs out there, and any injuries after the game?
I don't understand why they've been tired legs, because they've been looked after, so we're not going to look for any excuses. We did enough training to get us game ready for today. We haven't overdone them with information that's going to mentally drain them either. So no excuses. We just didn't play well today. We just weren't at it. They're young men and should be able to go again. And listen, Carlisle's playing the same amount of games as well. But even with the changes that we made from the bench, they didn't really get us going as well. That didn't really freshen us up either. So we tried pretty much everything we could. I couldn't get it going in any way. So like I say, we have to go again, and on Tuesday night we just have to do things the way that we do things well. Like I keep saying, show me the qualities that they undoubtedly have, and get back to getting first goals and keeping clean sheets and looking more like ourselves and showing me our qualities and that we are, and just get back to ourselves again.
And no obvious injuries that would affect selection?
None, no injuries. So we move into Monday again with the group again.